Getting the keys to your first place is a rush, total independence. But that freedom hits a wall when you realize how fast an empty apartment burns through your bank account, leaving many first-time renters completely broke by month 3. The trap starts with simple math. Most people look at their monthly paycheck, find an apartment with rent that fits, and sign the lease, forgetting every other recurring expense needed to actually live there. This chart illustrates how that 30% threshold works. To stay financially stable, your total housing costs, the combined sum of rent, utilities, internet, and insurance, must stay below that line. Running these numbers before you start looking at listings determines whether you achieve true independence or end up forced to move back home. Even with your monthly budget locked in, the initial shock of setting up an apartment can wipe out your savings in a single week. This receipt tallies the invisible checklist required to turn an empty box into a home. Factoring in internet installation, cookware, cleaning supplies, and a moving truck, you spend $1,500 to $4,000 fast. To prepare, track your actual spending for 2 full months while you are still living at home. You need a realistic picture of your food and lifestyle costs because those expenses follow you to the new place. Aim to save at least 3 months of living expenses before you sign a lease. This buffer turns inevitable setup costs from a financial crisis into a minor, planned inconvenience. Once you find a place, you face the final hurdle before getting the keys, the upfront payment. This is where many renters fall into an upfront trap. Deposit rules are governed strictly by provincial law, and assuming the rules are the same across Canada can cost you thousands in illegal fees. Look at this map comparing Ontario and British Columbia. In Ontario, landlords are restricted to asking for first and last month's rent only. Damage and pet deposits are illegal. In BC, however, landlords can legally require both a damage deposit and a pet deposit, each capped at half a month's rent. Compare both to Quebec, where the laws are even stricter. Landlords there are prohibited from requiring any deposits at all. They cannot even ask for last month's rent up front. Knowing your specific provincial tenancy laws is the best defense against a landlord trying to illegally drain your savings. With the lease signed, you have to activate your hydro, gas, and water independently. Call the providers well before move-in day to avoid spending your first night in a dark apartment. A quick warning tone. Be prepared for a credit check. If you have no prior credit history, utility companies often demand a refundable deposit of $100 to $300 just to open your account. Then there is tenant insurance. Many first-timers view this as a scam or an unnecessary expense, but the reality is much different. This diagram shows what a $20 to $40 monthly premium actually buys. You get 3 layers of protection: coverage for your belongings, personal liability if someone is injured in your home, and emergency funds if a building disaster makes your unit uninhabitable. Skipping tenant insurance to save a few dollars is a massive risk. A single kitchen fire or burst pipe could ruin your financial future without it. When you move in, the urge to furnish every room with brand new items on day 1 is strong. Resist it. Buying everything at once is a major financial mistake. This graphic outlines the buy new rule. Always buy soft, hygienic items brand new. Mattresses, pillows, and towels should come straight from the store to avoid the high cost of a bedbug infestation. For everything else, use the buy-use rule. Source hard furnishings like dining tables, chairs, and bookshelves secondhand on local online marketplaces to save thousands. Piecing your apartment together over time preserves your emergency fund, ensuring you have cash available when real emergencies happen in those first few months. On move-in day, before you unpack a single box or move furniture into the space, you must take one critical action. Record a continuous, time-stamped video walking through every room. Note every scratch or scuff and immediately email that video to your landlord. This creates an undeniable legal paper trail. It proves the condition of the unit on day 1, protecting you from being falsely charged for those damages when you eventually move out. You also need to understand your rights. Landlords must give 24 hours of written notice before entering. They must adhere to provincial rent increase caps, and all communication should stay in writing. A key gets you through the door, but a solid financial plan and legal knowledge keep you there. Use the 50-30-20 budget planner linked below to start prepping your numbers